make sure that you get that great kind of service that only comes from that person that you're working with. So it makes perfect sense that we have to reach out to one another and work together to try to provide our clients with that great service. Inwardly though, it doesn't always work out that well. You try to tell someone something, they don't want to listen, they feel like they know the better way, and then you try to tell someone something else, and then they want to contest things back and forth.
I went hot air ballooning. I learned the alphabet backwards in under 5 seconds. I became scuba certified. And as my 40th birthday loomed, I knew I needed to do something spectacular, as did my brother, who flew in from DC. And on August 6, 2012, we got in the car at 6 in the morning, and we started to drive. 3 hours later, we arrived at the campus of Skydive New England. Our instructors greeted us, and they were like gnarly surfer dudes. Hey Tiff, hey Tom, welcome to the sky.
Was just beyond where the judges' table is. He's standing right there. And I'm looking at this powerful man, and I'm thinking, he's just some guy. And it was fabulous. It was as if the scales had fallen from my eyes, and I saw power for what it is. It's nothing inherent. You give people power, and you can take it away. And I'm standing there, and I don't know what came over me, but I took a breath, and I said, "Shame on you! Shame!" And everybody turned to look at me. Paul Ryan turned to look at me. I think even the statues. And I went on to testify fearlessly. So I left Washington that night. I flew home. And when I got off the plane, I rushed to the ladies' room and started washing my hands, as if trying to wash off Washington.
My process, it all took place inside the frame, so you didn't have to wave it or shake it. In fact, if you did wave it or shake it, you risked damaging the plastic or having the chemicals spread unevenly. And of course, that's the one in the video for the song that everybody is waving all over the place. So I took all that information I just gave you and I put it in a nice, neat little 3-paragraph FAQ. I got all my approvals for correctness, and I posted it on the website. And I came in the next morning, and I saw that it had been viewed more than 5,000 times in less than 12 hours. A very early primitive example of something going viral. So I did all the calculations, and I ran to my boss's office, and I tackled him as he came in that day, and I said, "Tom, look at all this money I just saved the company. Let's talk about my new office a little later in the day." The next morning I came in, and Tom was waiting for me at my desk, and it was not to hand me a bonus check. He'd been called the night before by his boss, demanding to know who was responsible for putting this information on the website. Turns out Reuters had written an article entitled, "Polaroid Urges Buyers Not to Shake It," which had been picked up by everybody, not least of which was the New York Times, the Times of London, CNN, all the big ones. And the thrust of the article was, and I'm paraphrasing here for the words of somebody who was on CNN, "This is the reason why the company's going in the toilet." Here they have a wildly popular song encouraging people to buy their product and do something with it, and somebody in the company thinks it's a good idea to tell people not to do that thing.
Brain cancer and in a semi-coma, he suddenly opened his eyes, took my hand gently, and whispered, "Don't worry, honey, I'm going to be back from heaven to look after you and bother you." And in that moment, I began to believe. Herman has proved to be a very loving and sometimes mischievous spirit. He likes to let other people, my friends, know that Mercia has not lost her marbles. Early in 2014, I invited some friends around to play bridge. I was about to embark on my battle with breast cancer, and it was the night before I started chemotherapy. I was the 4th dealer, and you should know in bridge that 2 packs of cards are used. So by the time my turn came to deal, each pack of cards had been played successfully.
After you get about 40 hours, and he says, and I said, well, how much it costs an hour to learn how to be a pilot? He says, $100 an hour. But he says, you know, if you own your own plane, it's $50 an hour. I says, wow. So we get on the ground. I say to the guy next to me, I says, you got your American Express? He says, yeah. I said, I got mine too. Okay. I says, how much for that plane over there? And the guy says, like $18,000. I says, okay. We both bought the plane, okay? So we drive home, and we're starting to get sober, okay? And we drive home, we realize that we own a plane, but we don't know how to fly, okay? So we have to tell the wives, okay, that we own a plane. So then all of a sudden what we do is we go and we get our pilot's license. So this man happened to be an undertaker, okay? So what happens, and I'm a lawyer. So